Ethan Carter woke up suddenly. His head felt heavy, and his vision was blurry. The cold air from the cryosleep pod made his skin tingle. He sat up slowly, trying to understand what was happening. The dim blue lights of the ship flickered above him. The only sound was the soft hum of the engines deep inside the vessel. He took a deep breath and looked around. The room was filled with other cryosleep pods, all closed. The crew was still asleep. Something was wrong. He pressed a button on the side of his pod. A small screen lit up, showing a warning message. Emergency protocol activated. Unscheduled awakening. Contact bridge immediately. Ethan's heart pounded. He had trained for emergencies, but waking up early from cryosleep was never a good sign. He stood up, feeling weak. His muscles ached from months of sleep. He walked slowly toward the exit of the cryocamber. The doors slid open with a soft hiss, revealing the dark hallway outside. The ship's AI, Lyra, spoke in a calm voice. "Lieutenant Carter, you are awake earlier than scheduled. There is a problem with the ship's navigation systems. Communications are down. The captain and crew remain in cryosleep." Ethan frowned. What caused this? Unknown gravitational anomaly detected near the ship. It disrupted primary systems. Automatic recovery failed. Lyra responded. Ethan felt a chill run down his spine. A gravitational anomaly could mean many things. A black hole, an asteroid field, or something worse. He needed to get to the bridge. He walked down the corridor, passing dark rooms and silent machines. The ship felt empty, lifeless. As he reached the elevator, a strange sound echoed in the hallway. A low whisper. Ethan turned around quickly, but he saw nothing. His mind must be playing tricks on him. He shook his head and stepped into the elevator. "Bridge," he said. The elevator doors closed, and the lift moved upward. He rubbed his arms to shake off the uneasy feeling creeping over him. The whisper had sounded real. Too real. The elevator stopped. The doors opened to reveal the bridge. It was dark except for the glowing lights of the control panels. Ethan walked to the captain's chair and activated the main console. The screens blinked to life, showing error messages. Navigation offline. Communication offline. External scanners offline. Lyra's voice spoke again. "Lieutenant Carter, a foreign object is attached to the ship's hull. It is emitting an energy signature unlike any known source." Ethan's stomach tightened. "Can you show me?" A holographic image appeared in front of him. A strange metallic object was attached to the side of the ship. It pulsed with a blue glow. It was no asteroid. It was something else. Something unknown. Ethan clenched his fists. Is it dangerous? Unknown. The object is affecting ship systems, but its purpose is unclear. Ethan exhaled slowly. "I need to get a closer look. Prepare the airlock." "Understood, Lieutenant Carter. Be careful." Ethan made his way to the equipment room and suited up. The space suit felt tight around his body, but it was necessary for survival outside the ship. He grabbed a tether and checked his oxygen levels. Everything was set. Minutes later, he stood at the airlock. The doors opened, revealing the endless darkness of space. He stepped out carefully, his tether keeping him connected to the ship. His boots made soft thuds on the metal surface as he walked toward the strange object. As he got closer, the blue light pulsed faster. It was almost as if it knew he was coming. Ethan swallowed hard and reached out his hand. The moment his fingers brushed against the surface, a shock of energy shot through him. His vision blurred, and suddenly, images flooded his mind. Strange stars, unknown planets, a city made of light, and then a voice, soft but urgent. "Help us." Ethan gasped and pulled his hand back. His breathing was fast. His heart pounded in his chest. The whisper in the hallway, the visions, the strange object. It was all connected. He had no idea what he had just touched, but one thing was certain. He was no longer alone on this ship. Ethan's breathing was heavy. His heart still pounded as he stared at the strange object attached to the ship. The blue light flickered, as if responding to him. He clenched his fists, trying to push away the strange visions that filled his mind. "Lyra, are you recording this?" he asked, his voice shaking. "Yes, Lieutenant Carter," the AI responded. "Your vital signs indicate stress. Should I alert medical?" "No," he said quickly. "Not yet. Just keep monitoring." He took another deep breath and reached for his communicator. "Captain Harris is still in cryosleep, right?" "Correct," Lyra confirmed. "The ship's emergency protocols have not initiated full crew awakening." Ethan hesitated. He was alone in this, at least for now. He looked back at the object. It had no clear shape, no markings, nothing that looked like technology he understood. But it was alive. He could feel it. "I need a sample," he muttered to himself. He pulled a small tool from his suit and activated its laser cutter. The moment the laser touched the object, a pulse of energy erupted. Ethan felt his body go weightless as everything turned white. He was no longer on the ship. He saw a massive city, glowing towers stretching into a star-filled sky. Strange figures moved through the streets, their bodies made of shimmering light. A voice whispered in his mind, "You are the one." The vision faded as fast as it had come. Ethan gasped, stumbling backward. His hands trembled. He was back on the ship, the blue light of the object dimming slightly. "Ethan," Lyra's voice broke through. "Your neural activity spiked. I detected an energy discharge. Are you injured?" "No, I think it showed me something," Ethan whispered. He clenched his fists. "Lyra, I need to get this thing inside. We need to study it. The object is interfering with ship systems. Transporting it inside may pose risks." "We don't have a choice," Ethan said. "Help me detach it." "Understood, Lieutenant. Initiating magnetic locks override." The ship's robotic arms moved slowly, their metal claws gripping the edges of the object. The moment they touched it, another pulse of energy surged through the ship. Lights flickered. A deep, vibrating hum filled the air. "Lyra," Ethan shouted. "System overload detected." "Stabilizing," Lyra responded. The ship groaned as power fluctuated. Then the humming stopped. The object detached and floated freely. Ethan quickly secured it, pulling it towards the airlock. He guided it through the passage, feeling an unnatural warmth in his hands as he touched it. He placed it in the containment chamber and locked it down. "Lyra, scan it," he ordered, stepping back. Scanning. A pause. "Material unknown. Energy source unknown. Object appears organic and technological." Ethan watched as the blue glow pulsed like a heartbeat. He still felt its presence in his mind, as if something was trying to talk to him. He shook his head, trying to clear his thoughts. "I need to wake the captain," he said. "This is bigger than me." "Warning. Premature awakening may cause medical complications," Lyra cautioned. "We don't have time for that," Ethan snapped. "Wake him now." The cryocamber hissed as the captain's pod opened. Captain Harris gasped as he woke, his body weak from the long sleep. Ethan rushed to his side, helping him sit up. "Ethan," Harris groaned. "What's going on?" "Something's on the ship, Captain," Ethan said. "Something. Alien." Harris rubbed his eyes, trying to focus. "Explain." Ethan pointed to the containment chamber. The blue light inside pulsed steadily. Harris stared at it, his expression turning serious. "What is that?" "I don't know," Ethan admitted. "But it spoke to me." Harris turned to him sharply. "Spoke to you?" Ethan nodded. "Not in words. In images, visions. It showed me a city, a place I've never seen before." And a voice said, "I was the one." Silence filled the room. Harris looked at the object again, his face grim. He turned back to Ethan. "We need to be careful. If this thing is alive, we have no idea what it wants." Ethan swallowed. "I think it wants our help." Harris didn't respond immediately. He stood up slowly, steadying himself. We'll run more tests, gather as much data as we can. But Ethan, if this thing is dangerous, we may have to destroy it. Ethan felt a weight in his chest. I understand. He didn't agree, but he understood. As the captain and Lyra began the scans, Ethan stared at the blue light. He could still hear the whisper in his mind. Help us. Ethan sat in the dimly lit control room, his eyes fixed on the containment chamber. The strange object inside continued to glow with its soft blue light, pulsing like a slow heartbeat. It was quiet now, but he still felt its presence in his mind. The whisper was there, just at the edge of his thoughts. Captain Harris stood beside him, watching the monitors. His face was tense. Lyra, any new readings? Negative, Captain, the AI responded. Energy output remained stable. No change in material composition. No immediate threat detected. Harris sighed. I don't like this. We have something on board, and we don't know what it is. Ethan hesitated. I don't think it wants to hurt us. The visions it showed me, they didn't feel hostile. More like a call for help. Harris turned to him. You don't know that for sure. We can't take risks. A sudden alarm interrupted them. The lights flickered, and the ship shuddered slightly. Lyra's voice was calm but urgent. Gravitational disturbance detected. An unidentified force is affecting our position. Ethan and Harris exchanged looks. Where is it coming from? Harris asked. Unknown. Scanning for source, Lyra replied. Ethan turned back to the containment chamber. The blue light was brighter now, pulsating faster. The presence in his mind grew stronger. He could almost hear words forming in his thoughts. We need to let it out, Ethan whispered. Harris shook his head. That's not happening. We don't know what it will do. The ship trembled again, stronger this time. Lyra spoke again. Anomaly increasing. Hull integrity at risk. Ethan's hands tightened into fists. Captain, I think it's trying to protect us. What if the anomaly is connected to it? Maybe we're under attack. Maybe it's warning us. Harris hesitated, his eyes scanning the flashing red warnings on the screen. He hated making decisions without enough information. But the situation was getting worse. Lyra, if we open the chamber, can we control its release? Harris asked. Affirmative, Captain. I can regulate atmospheric containment and monitor energy output. Harris exhaled slowly. Fine. Open it. But the moment it shows any sign of aggression, we shut it down. Ethan nodded and moved to the control panel. His fingers trembled as he entered the command. With a low hiss, the chamber doors unlocked. The glowing object floated forward slightly, its light pulsing rhythmically. The presence in Ethan's mind grew stronger. He heard a voice now, clear and soft. We mean no harm. Ethan gasped. He wasn't imagining it. He looked at Harris. Did you hear that? Harris's eyes widened. I think so. The blue glow shifted, forming vague shapes in the air. Ethan saw images. An ancient city, a great war, and a deep, endless darkness swallowing the stars. He shivered as he understood. This being, whatever it was, had seen something terrible. Something that was coming. Captain, Ethan said, his voice steady. I think it's warning us. Harris stared at the glowing form, his jaw tight. Warning us about what? The ship rocked violently, alarms blaring. Lyra's voice rang out. Captain, a vessel is approaching. Unknown configuration. No response to hails. Ethan's blood ran cold. The object's light flared brightly, filling the room with its glow. The whisper returned, urgent now. They have found you. Prepare. Ethan stood frozen as the alarms continued to blare. The ship trembled under an unseen force. The blue light from the mysterious object flickered rapidly, as if reacting to the approaching danger. Captain Harris tightened his grip on the console, his face tense. Lyra, how close is the vessel? Harris demanded. 1,000 kilometers and closing fast, Lyra responded. No signs of known human or allied signals. Scanners unable to identify origin. Ethan swallowed hard. It's them, isn't it? The ones from the vision. The blue light pulsed again. The whisper in Ethan's mind returned, stronger than before. Danger. Must act. Harris turned to Ethan. You're still hearing it. What is it saying? Ethan hesitated. It wants us to act, but I don't know what that means. The ship jolted again, nearly knocking Ethan off his feet. The lights flickered. Lyra's voice came through, calm but urgent. Power fluctuations detected. External interference increasing. Shields weakening. Harris gritted his teeth. This is bad. We can't fight what we don't understand. Ethan, if that thing knows what's happening, we need to find out what it wants. Ethan nodded and stepped closer to the glowing object. His fingers tingled as he reached out. The moment his hand touched the surface, the glow enveloped him. His mind filled with images again. A vast darkness swallowing planets, ships torn apart by unseen forces, a desperate flight through the stars. Then a single, clear thought formed. Help us. Ethan gasped as he pulled his hand away. His body shook. They're refugees, he whispered. Their people were attacked by something powerful. They came here to warn us. Harris frowned. Warn us? About what? Before Ethan could answer, the ship lurched violently. The warning lights turned red. Lyra's voice cut through the chaos. Hostile vessel has locked onto us. Energy signature detected. Unknown weapon charging. Ethan turned back to the object. We need to trust it. Harris hesitated for only a moment before nodding. What do we do? The blue light brightened, filling the room. The whisper in Ethan's mind became words. Let us connect. We can protect. Ethan turned to Harris. It wants access to the ship's systems. It says it can help. Harris exhaled sharply. Lyra, can we isolate its connection so it doesn't take over everything? Affirmative, Captain. Limited access can be granted to navigation and shields. Harris nodded. Do it. Ethan placed both hands on the glowing object. At once, the ship's systems flickered, then stabilized. The hum of the engines grew stronger. Lyra spoke again. Defensive systems realigned. Power output increasing. Shields restored. On the main screen, a new image appeared. The approaching vessel was dark, sleek, and unlike anything they had ever seen. Ethan felt a chill. The enemy had arrived. The blue light pulsed again. The whisper became a command. Prepare for battle. Ethan stood firm as the ship trembled again. The hostile vessel loomed closer, its dark form blocking the stars. The blue light from the mysterious object pulsed rapidly. The whisper in Ethan's mind became a strong voice. Defend. Captain Harris clenched his jaw. Lyra, what's their status? Are they charging weapons? Affirmative, Captain. Lyra responded. Energy buildup detected. Estimated impact in 60 seconds. Ethan turned to Harris. We have to trust it. Let it do what it needs to. Harris hesitated, then gave a firm nod. Lyra, grant full access to shields and weapons. Whatever this thing can do, let it do it fast. Acknowledged, Captain. Establishing link. The ship shuddered as the blue light spread through the control panels. Screens flickered, then stabilized. The whisper in Ethan's mind grew clearer. Ready. On the main screen, the enemy vessel began moving faster. Its weapons glowed with eerie red light. Ethan felt his pulse quicken. It's coming. Lyra's voice remained steady. Hostile projectile launch detected. Impact in 30 seconds. The blue light flared. The ship's engines roared to life. Ethan felt energy surge around him. The controls moved on their own. Guided by an unseen force, the ship spun sharply, avoiding the first blast. A second shot followed, but this time, the shields absorbed it without strain. Captain Harris stared in shock. Our shields have never been this strong. What's happening? Ethan listened to the voice in his mind. They're reinforcing us, making us stronger. Captain, Lyra interrupted. Weapon systems are now operational at maximum efficiency. Targeting solutions ready. Harris clenched his fists. Fire. The ship's cannons glowed bright blue. A powerful energy beam shot forward, striking the enemy vessel. The impact sent a ripple through space, distorting the stars for a moment. The hostile ship shuddered, but remained intact. Direct hit, Lyra reported. Enemy shields weakened by 60%. The enemy vessel retaliated, sending another red blast toward them. The blue energy around their ship pulsed, absorbing the attack with ease. Ethan felt the voice in his mind guiding him. Strike now. End this. He turned to Harris. Captain, we have to fire again. Harris didn't hesitate this time. Lyra, full power to weapons. Fire everything we have. Another surge of blue energy erupted from their cannons. The blast struck the enemy ship's core. For a second, nothing happened. Then a hostile vessel exploded into a bright flash, sending debris into the void. The ship fell silent. The blue light dimmed, returning to a slow, calm pulse. Ethan exhaled, his body shaking. The voice in his mind whispered one last time. Safe. Captain Harris let out a breath. Lyra, status report. Enemy vessel destroyed. No further threats detected. Ethan turned to the glowing object. You saved us. The blue light flickered, as if acknowledging his words. Harris crossed his arms. We need to find out more about this thing. Ethan nodded. I think this is just the beginning. Ethan leaned against the console, his breathing heavy. The battle was over, but his heart was still racing. The ship was quiet now, except for the faint hum of the engines. The blue light from the mysterious object pulsed slowly like a calm heartbeat. Captain Harris rubbed his forehead. We survived that, but I have a feeling this isn't over. Lyra, scan for any remaining threats. Scanning, Lyra responded. No immediate dangers detected. All systems are stable. Ethan turned to the glowing object. Can you tell us what happens next? Who else is out there? The blue light flickered. Ethan felt a presence in his mind again. This time, the voice was softer. More will come. Harris sighed. That's what I was afraid of. Do we know when? The light pulsed again. Soon. Ethan clenched his fists. Then we have to be ready. We can't just wait for another attack. Harris nodded. Agreed. Lyra, how much damage did we take? Minimal damage to outer hull. Energy reserves at 80%. Shields at full strength. Harris crossed his arms. Good. We still have a chance. But we need more than just defense. We need information. Ethan thought for a moment. What if we go to them first? We find out who these enemies are before they find us again. Harris looked at him. You're suggesting we leave our position and search for them. That's risky. I know, Ethan admitted. But if we wait, they'll come with more force. We might not be lucky next time. The blue light flickered again. The whisper in Ethan's mind returned. Seek knowledge. Find the lost ones. Ethan's eyes widened. The lost ones. Who are they? The light pulsed. Survivors. Hidden. Afraid. They can help. Harris exchanged a glance with Ethan. If there are others out there who know what's coming, we need to find them. Lyra, can you identify possible locations based on this new information? Analyzing known star maps. Cross-referencing past distress signals. Estimated locations calculated. Displaying on the screen. A map appeared before them, marking several points in deep space. Ethan felt a chill as he looked at them. They were far, some barely reachable with their current fuel. Harris studied the map. This is a gamble, but we don't have a choice. If we can find allies, we might stand a chance. Ethan turned to the glowing object. Will you guide us? The light pulsed gently. Together. Harris straightened. Then it settled. Lyra set a course for the nearest location. We move at first light. As the ship prepared for its next journey, Ethan felt a mix of fear and hope. The fight wasn't over. It was just beginning. Ethan sat in the command room, watching as the stars outside the window blurred past. The ship was moving at full speed toward the first location on their map. The blue light from the mysterious object pulsed steadily, as if it too was preparing for what lay ahead. Captain Harris stood beside him, arms crossed. "How long until we reach the coordinates?" he asked. "Approximately 6 hours," Lyra responded. "No signs of hostile activity detected so far." Ethan glanced at Harris. "Do you think we'll find anyone there?" Harris exhaled slowly. "I don't know, but we have to try. If there are survivors, they might have answers." The ship remained quiet for a long while. The tension was thick. No one knew what to expect. Ethan's fingers tapped the console absent-mindedly. He felt the presence of the blue light in his mind again, gentle and guiding. "Prepare." He swallowed hard. "It's telling me to be ready." Harris gave him a sharp look. "For what?" "I don't know," Ethan admitted, "but something is coming." Lyra's voice interrupted them. "Captain, we are approaching the coordinates. Scans detecting a small structure on a nearby moon. No active signals, but life signs are present." Ethan straightened. "That's them. The lost ones." Harris nodded. "Lyra, prepare a landing team. We're going down." Within minutes, the team gathered at the shuttle bay. Ethan, Harris, and 3 crew members boarded the shuttle. The blue light remained on the main ship, watching, waiting. As the shuttle descended, the surface of the moon became visible. It was barren, covered in gray dust, with a few rocky formations. In the distance, a small metal structure stood, half buried in the ground. Ethan's heart pounded. "I hope we're not too late." The shuttle landed with a soft thud. The team stepped out cautiously, weapons in hand but not raised. The air was thin but breathable. The structure looked ancient, its walls worn by time. Harris moved forward and knocked on the metal door. "This is Captain Harris of the U.S. Pathfinder. We mean no harm. We're here to help." Silence. Then, the door creaked open. A woman stepped out, her face gaunt, her eyes filled with fear and hope. Behind her, a few others emerged, tired, hungry, but alive. Ethan felt the whisper again. They survived. The woman's voice was shaky. "You shouldn't have come. They will follow." Harris frowned. "Who?" She took a deep breath. "The ones who hunt. They never stop. And now, they know you are here." Ethan's blood ran cold. He turned to Harris. "We need to leave. Now." The sky above them darkened. Something was coming.